Today is the day that NBA free agency opens up, which means some new players could be coming into the Raptors, but it also means that some players like Kyle Lowry could be leaving the Raptors, and there are huge links bringing Kyle Lowry to Miami Heat by the end of today. So in this video, we're going to look at the proposed trade that sends him there and see who the Raptors get at. Should the Raptors do it? Let's get into it. Welcome NBA and Raptors fans to Amateur Hour Sports. This is a channel where you get NBA content with a focus on the Toronto Raptors at least 4 days a week. That is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. This is your Monday episode where we're talking about Kyle Lowry and the proposed sign and trade that would send him to the Miami Heat. So if you like what you see from today's video and you want more of myself talking about the Raptors and the NBA in videos and content just like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below to show support to the channel on a road to 5,000 subscribers. You can help us get there by subscribing. Also, you can check out our Twitch to help with your lack of off-season content for basketball with the link down below, twitch.tv/amateurhoursports. But let's get into the topic for today. We're talking about Kyle Lowry because there were a ton of rumors that emerged yesterday, like true concrete rumors about what a sign and trade situation could look like that would send Kyle Lowry to the Miami Heat. There's also some rumors floating around that Miami could just sign him outright and there wouldn't be any sort of sign and trade scenario because Miami, they did have the cap space to do it, but then they went out and gave that team option to Goran Dragic worth $19 million. So now all of a sudden, maybe they don't have the money available. So sign and trade might be a little bit more feasible. But yesterday, like I said, was the first time that we've had actual, concrete, evidential reports that showcase that Kyle Lowry might be on his way to the Miami Heat. And, I've been on the fence about whether we should keep Kyle Lowry or whether we should, let him go. But I think after the draft, it kind of dawned on me that we really could use a talent like him for another season, so I would bring back Kyle Lowry. But the problem is he's going to want to be committed to a long-term contract, and I don't think the Raptors really are in the mindset of doing that. I don't think it's the best thing for the organization, so I'm a little bit on the fence in this situation. I think I'm good if Kyle Lowry stays, but I think I'm also good if we let him go through sign and trade or we let him walk. And the majority of the Amateur Hour Sports community has indicated that they would be more than willing to let Kyle Lowry walk away in this free agency. And Miami, ever since before the trade deadline, had these minor reports about them going out and getting Kyle Lowry. But again, this is the first time we've actually seen some sort of reports. And things really started to heat up when that team option came through for Goran Dragic, because it was evident that Goran Dragic was supposed to be used in some sort of sign and trade situation. And, maybe by the time this video even comes out, there's going to be something substantial about Kyle Lowry going to the Miami Heat. But maybe by the end of the day, we still wouldn't have seen a trade. I'm saying that right now, this is probably the closest Kyle Lowry has been to getting traded. And I wouldn't be surprised by the end of the day if he does go to the Miami Heat. So let's talk about the trade in question here because obviously we want to process this. So Kyle Lowry goes to the Miami Heat through a sign and trade situation. The terms of that contract, I do not have the information for, but I think Kyle Lowry is looking for about 3 years. I think he's looking for $80 to $90 million over those 3 years. But the Raptors in the sign and trade deal would get 35-year-old Goran Dragic on $19 million and Precious Achiuwa. Now, Precious Achiuwa is a little bit interesting, especially for the Raptors front office because, well,
I don't think you can have too many, these big two-way wings. Let's have all five guys look like him and OG and Pascal and all of that.
He fits pretty much the team that Bobby Webster and Masai Ujiri are trying to build here. Like you saw, 6'8" Precious Achiuwa. He's got about a 7'1", 7'2" wingspan. He can play as a center, can play as a power forward, decent rebounder. He's a good young prospect, being a first-round pick from the 2020 NBA entry draft. And he looks solid in his rookie year. And there were links for the Raptors wanting him over the course of the season. But it looks like something like this is in place. Now, yesterday, I was vocal on social media about the fact that I don't really want this trade because Goran Dragic is 35 years old and he's making $19 million. He's making more money than OG Anunoby this season. And, Goran Dragic is a solid player, but for 1 year, this is what you're going to get from Goran Dragic, what he kind of showcased last season. 13.4 points per game, 3.4 rebounds, 4.4 assists on, moderately efficient shooting. I mean, this is fine for a point guard. 43% from the field, 37% from three is quite nice, 82% from the line. This is like a solid type of backup point guard, and I don't think it'd be bad for the Raptors, but for $19 million, I'm not really thrilled about taking on this contract. I feel like that money could be allocated elsewhere, like a new center being Rashawn Holmes or Jared Allen. So not really interested in taking Goran Dragic. However, more reports have come out today that have kind of eased my stress about this, because yesterday I was very vocal about, I'd just rather Kyle Lowry walk for free than take on Goran Dragic for a year. So, maybe that's not the best thing, but maybe taking Goran Dragic for a year isn't the worst thing. But talking about it today, lots of reports are coming out that maybe the Raptors can actually flip Goran Dragic in this discussion as well, because there are teams like the Dallas Mavericks and like the New Orleans Pelicans who have showcased a little bit of interest in Dragic. Plus, you're going to get Precious Achiuwa. This is a guy that Raptors fans have been pretty high on over the last year or so, because he really fits our dynamic. He fits that long, athletic, and play maybe multiple positions, power forward or a center. So, like Bobby said, why not have all five guys on the court fit that dynamic with the switchability you'd have on defense? We would be not a very good offensive team in terms of our shooting, but defensively, we'd be insane. And maybe we can get some good pieces around our team to really fit that dynamic. But it really is starting to dawn on me now that Kyle Lowry may be leaving the Toronto Raptors. And if he does leave, then he leaves to me as the greatest Raptor of all time. And his last game as a Toronto Raptor was to demolish the Los Angeles Lakers near the end of the season, where he put up, I believe, 37 points, absolutely torched the Lakers. Bit of a you should have traded for me game, but Kyle Lowry torched him in that game, and if that is the lasting impression of Kyle Lowry, then that is a great one to fit the type of player that he was for the franchise. And Miami, this is a good destination for Kyle Lowry. I think that, it wasn't that the fact we were playing in Florida, he got used to the idea of living in Florida. I think that something like this was bound to happen. Kyle Lowry has a very good relationship with Jimmy Butler, and maybe he is kind of looking for a new challenge, and maybe the Raptors want to commit to some younger players to build on for the future, like Fred VanVleet, like Scotty Barnes now, like OG, Siakam, and maybe if we're going to bring in a guy like Precious Achiuwa, another great young player for this team. But I think the Raptors want to commit to this young core of players. Kyle Lowry would be a great type of teacher and leader for that group, but it doesn't really line up contractually, because Kyle Lowry is a free agent. He does want to commit his future for like 2 to 3 years at least. I feel like the Toronto Raptors would be only willing to give him 1, maybe 2 years. Now, being a little bit picky here, because Kyle Lowry walking for free, you'd rather get something out of the sign and trade. I'm saying I don't really want Goran Dragic in this trade, but maybe it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to have Goran Dragic for a year, and obviously if you can flip him, even better. You can get some more young assets in that trade. But I really feel like with this situation, Bobby Webster and Masai Ujiri are building up something great with this team in terms of a young core. And I really hope that Masai Ujiri is staying. I mean, that contract's running out, so we really got to talk about that one as well. But I feel decently good about Masai Ujiri staying. I have like above 50% confidence level. I'd say I have about a 70% confidence level that Masai Ujiri is going to re-sign with the Raptors. But, even still, we've got a great mind in Bobby Webster. We've got the foundation set by Masai Ujiri, regardless of what happens in that situation. But we're building a really good young core, a very unique style team. We've got Siakam, OG. We've got Scotty Barnes now. Fred VanVleet's a good point guard for those guys, a nice shooting point guard that we have there. We can bring in a center. We can bring in maybe Precious Achiuwa in a trade like this, and getting Precious Achiuwa out of a Kyle Lowry sign and trade would be great for this franchise, instead of having Kyle Lowry walk away for free, like so many other players of that 2019 champion team who have walked away for nothing so far. So this trade is pretty good. If there is that mutual relationship between Kyle Lowry wanting to go to the Heat wanted to give us something, we get some assets for Kyle Lowry, this trade makes some good sense for everybody involved. I think Kyle Lowry is going to have a good impact on the Miami Heat. They could really use that point guard general. I think a guy like Kyle Lowry on that team would really help a guy like Tyler Hero out. Obviously, the Raptors still want to push for Tyler Hero in this trade, but it doesn't really seem like that's going to happen, and it does seem like the clock is ticking on this. Kyle Lowry could walk away for free, so we're committing to getting something out of this. And if something is a very intriguing, young, promising center, Precious Achiuwa, who has some switchability, who's a good rebounder, maybe a little bit undersized for the center position, but we could probably work it out. He is still a good rim protector, and like I said, he is is still a good rebounder with his size and with that wingspan. We're getting a nice young player, and Goran Dragic, a nice asset we can flip, or maybe an overpriced bench point guard, but that's not the worst thing in the world, instead of getting absolutely nothing for Kyle Lowry. So I think that this trade makes sense, and I would say if you're a Raptors fan and you love Kyle Lowry, I mean, that just goes hand in hand. Get your mind prepared for this. Get mentally prepared for that possibly by the end of the day today, Kyle Lowry will not be a Toronto Raptor for the first time in the best part of a decade. And that is going to be a very sad day because he's left a great impression on the franchise. He's made a great impression on a lot of our lives, but we have to understand that, there are organizational things and there are personal things that need to be taken care of in this situation. I think that everything is being addressed here. We're sending Kyle to a good and positive destination for himself, and the Raptors are getting some good assets in return. I think that everybody is going to be a winner involved in this trade. I think that everybody is going to be a winner, from the Raptors to the Heat to the Lowry. And I think that Precious Achiuwa could really benefit from coming into a development system that loves and adores players like himself, with that big wingspan, with that decent height, with that switchability on defense. So everybody is going to profit from this if it does happen. I'm feeling very confident. I mean, the way I've spoken throughout this video, I'm feeling very confident, like a deal is going to get done. Maybe not tonight, but I feel like a deal is going to get done by the end of the week maximum for Kyle Lowry. I would be surprised at this point if he did stay. I'd be okay with him staying, but I understand the situation. I understand Masai Ujiri, Bobby West are going to do what they think is best for the franchise, and I'm absolutely going to trust them in doing it. So what do you guys make of this Kyle Lowry mock trade where we're sending Kyle Lowry in a sign and trade for Precious Achiuwa and Goran Dragic? I want to hear all of your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below, because that wraps up for me for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you are still, be sure to hit that like button, smash the like button for draft week and for free agency week. A lot of support coming in on the channel. I really do appreciate it, guys. We're almost at that 5,000 subscriber mark. You can also check out our Twitch, twitch.tv/amateursports, where we do a ton of NBA related content plus some video game content as well. Every single stream we set aside a lot of time to do some basketball discussion. We talk about mock trades, talk about the news, and break it all down for you. So if you're missing out on extra content, don't be afraid to check out the link in the description. Also, like I said, on our road to 5,000 subscribers, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this. We put up videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Other videos by that channel you may enjoy. And always remember, at the end of the day, believe what I say, and if you disagree, that is okay. We'll see you again next time for another video.